Anyone who's ever seen me speak knows that one of my favorite things is audience participation. So by a show of hand, how many of you were born in New Hampshire? Good for you. How many of you have been here more than 10 years? All right, so the granite's getting there, all right?
Try 50.
How
many of you are here 50 years?
You've been here 50 years? But you weren't born here, you were born in Vermont, so we won't hold that against you.
What if our parents were born here?
Well, we can talk about the lineage a little bit more, but the uniqueness is this, is that many of us who are born in New Hampshire have at some point in our lives left and done whatever we did in the world. We wandered around. I lived in Europe for a while, not as a bohemian, but as a soldier, so I have some pride in that. And I wandered a little bit, and I think we all have. But there's this little thing that nicks at you, isn't there?
There is.
Because there's something special about being from New Hampshire. Everybody knows it. People always ask me, how do you get such a great guest on your radio show like Daniel Hannon and Michelle Bachman? It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you guys. I say New Hampshire, and they say, when do you want me on? Because they understand who we are. And this next individual, he doesn't get any more New Hampshire than this individual. I mean, what are we? We're all wearing suit and ties tonight. Some of us are, some of us aren't. But this isn't really who we are we? We're people who like to put on those duck boots. We're people who like to roll up our sleeves. And whatever the mess is, we want to clean it up.
Amen. Right.
We do.
Clean it up.
And this next person I'm going to introduce you to, his family has been cleaning up this state for a while. And this past election, he came this close to being the ultimate cleanupper. But his whole life has been spent rolling up his sleeves, not doing what he needed to do for himself, but what he needed to do for New Hampshire. And that's who we are. I won't tell you all the stories that my brother tells me about him in the younger days that we all have, but I can tell you that over this last year, we have seen a person of tremendous character who brings common sense conservatism to his life. And as sad as this statement is, right now, we will miss him in the corner office, but we hope one day to put him there. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for our gubernatorial candidate, John Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. I just, I'm honored to be here tonight, and I wouldn't miss this for anything. And I just want to tell you that it was, someone said to me when I walked in here, I'm sorry that you lost. I don't want to hear that. I'm not sorry. I feel great. We have historic majorities in the House and Senate. We ran a great race, and that's what I want to tell you about tonight. I'm proud of the race I ran. I'm proud of the issues we ran on. But when I ran in the primary with Jack, we ran on issues. We talked about what matters.
Yes,
and we didn't get into a lot of the negative and a lot of the stuff that, you heard in the general election. And you know what? But that people remember that. And we ought to be so proud of the gubernatorial primary race, where we had 4 quality candidates, and there were times we talked off stage, on stage, before debates. We had fun, right, Jack? We had fun. But it was intense because Jack is a passionate person. He cares about what he believes in. But the good news here is you've got someone here that is going to help shape the future of our state and our generation. And you've got people in this room. And it's the message, and that's what I want to make sure that you all understand tonight, because the representatives that are here, I commend you and I congratulate you. And I can't wait to work with you. But it's the message that prevailed. That message was a seed that was planted by Jack, by myself, and by others. And Jack had such an instrumental role in that limited government, low tax, personal freedom message that we all stood for. and that we will continue to stand for.
Right.
And we are the party that stands for freedom. And the other thing that I'm very impressed with and why I'm so honored to be here is Jack and I became very friendly after the primary race. And Jack was there every step of the way. And Bill was exactly right. He was there day one. That next few days after the race, primary, we're at Rochester Fair, walking around, shaking hands. Anywhere I was, Jack was there. Presidential candidates, governor candidates, or governors in other states, Jack was there. And you know what? That's the type of teamwork we have to show now in this next session that we're about to approach. This historic session. So it's important tomorrow we will elect a speaker. It's important that we show unity no matter what happens in the end, that we all work together for these common core principles that we all care about in this room. And the other issue I wanted to raise with you tonight and thinking about on the way over here is, think of the people, the new blood, the new visionaries, the new folks that Jack Kimball has brought to the table to help us not only to run as candidates, which has just been great, but also those foot soldiers that will be there to make sure that we don't lose the majority the next time. Jack, thank you for that. So Jack is responsible for that message. He's responsible in large part for that historic majority and that result that we saw on November 2nd. And I am so glad and honored to be here as his friend. We're here to help him retire his debt. And I will ask all of you to do whatever you can, because I've been in that situation before. You know, luckily, the race I ran at the end, we had about $1,000 in debt. And I watched every penny. It's not easy to run a race and to then end up with debt. We need to all come together and help Jack. And if you haven't tonight, talk to your friends, neighbors, whoever you can talk to help make sure we retire this debt so that we can be proud and stand up together. And in the end, Jack Kimball is going to be back. Jack will be back. God bless you, Jack. God bless you.